A quorum is present. I will now call this meeting to order. We have no public comments for proposed agenda items today. This meeting was called to consider the Level 3 employee grievance brought by Mr. Ethan John. Prior to beginning the complaint hearing, the board would like to consult with attorney Lisa McBride, who is here tonight to advise the board regarding this complaint. The board will first go into executive session under section 551.071 to consult with Ms. Lisa McBride concerning the Level 3 employee grievance. The board will then hear the complaint in closed session under section 551.074 and section 551.082 beginning at 4 p.m. Ms. McBride will advise the board regarding all or parts of the complaint hearing conducted in closed session. Additionally, the board may reconvene in executive session under 551.071 at any time to consult with Ms. McBride. A closed or executive meeting of the board will now be held. The time is 3:32 p.m. Executive session is adjourned and the board is now in open session. The time is 4:29 p.m. I will entertain motions on the Level 3 appeal.
I, Noe Esparza, move that the board deny the complaint of Mr. John and uphold the administrative decision at Level 2.
I, Linda Sherrod, second the motion.
A motion was made by Noe Esparza and seconded by Linda Sherrod. All in favor? The motion carried 5-0. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 4:29. A quorum is present. I will now call this meeting to order. It is 5:05 p.m. We have no public comments for posted agenda items today. I will now turn the floor over to Ms. Anna Lara, Director of Early Head Start, who will present training to governing body members on their roles and responsibilities, legal and fiscal, for the Early Head Start program.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Anna Lara. I am the director of Galena Park ISD. And today I will present information to you about the Early Head Start program and its governance and leadership systems. Early Head Start is a division of the Administration for Children and Families Office of Head Start. The two documents that you see on the screen are there's a Head Start Act and the Head Start Performance Standards, and together they are the foundation on which programs design and deliver comprehensive, high-quality services to children and families. So what is Early Head Start? Early Head Start is a federally funded program that provides services to children of low-income families. A little bit of history here. Head Starts were set in motion back in 1965 as a 6-week pilot project. The project was designed to break the cycle of poverty by providing children of low-income families with a comprehensive program to meet their emotional, social, nutritional, health, and psychological needs. That pilot project was so successful that it was transformed into a formal government program. And Early Head Starts came on board 30 years after that in 1995. And just 4 years after that, Galena Park ISD saw the benefits that a program like this would bring into this district and this community. And they applied for the grant was awarded, and Becker Early Head Start has been in service since 1999. So this image is mostly just to highlight the age group that we serve. So we serve infants and toddlers only. All of our students are ages 6 weeks all the way up until the age of 3. The top right and lower bottom pictures are just to represent the community engagement within the Early Head Start program. So we have the City of Galena Park fire truck on the bottom left. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not it. I apologize. The picture in the center, it's to visualize, I guess, how we incorporate the families into the overall functions of the program. Early Head Start services. So Early Head Start services include a full day, Monday through Friday, educational setting, childcare for our students. We have a research-based curriculum, ongoing developmental assessments, transportation services through the Galena Park ISD Transportation Department for all the families who do not have a vehicle and are qualified for our program. Supplies such as diapers, pull-ups, wipes, formula, this is all at no cost to those families who qualify for the program. So how do you qualify for this program? Eligibility is based on 3 different factors. It is age, income, and address. Age, I mentioned the children do have to be under the age of 3. Income, the family must meet the poverty guidelines. And address, they must reside within the Galena Park ISD service area. So this is the slide that I was talking about with the community engagement. Bottom left, City of Galena Park fire truck. Top right is our local branch librarian who comes over and reads to our children once a month. So let's talk about budget. This program applies for a new grant every 5 years. However, on a yearly basis, we must submit a continuation grant. And we also apply for any supplemental grants that are available. This year, we applied for the continuation grant and for the cost of living assistance grant, and both were awarded. So moving on to leadership and governance, Head Start believes in inclusive leadership and shared decision-making. Therefore, governance of this program is divided between you all, Policy Council, and Early Head Start Management. And this creates a balanced representation of voices that ensure stakeholders' input, diversity, and accountability to the community. This is the Head Start Management Systems wheel. And this wheel helps us visualize how the leadership and governance fit into the overall pictures. We see the different functions and systems that work together to inform and influence the program's service delivery. Our ultimate goal is always that core, the center, which is quality child and family outcomes. Head Start Leadership and Governance. This slide shows the 3 governing systems and their roles. Governing body exercises the legal and fiscal oversight of the program. Policy Council assumes program direction. And management staff assumes the responsibility for the day-to-day functions and operation of the program. Composition, so for the governing body, expertise is required in the following areas: fiscal, education, and legal. The remainder members can be community representatives. And for Policy Council, the majority must be either current or former Early Head Start parents, and the remainder may be community representatives. Policy Council, responsible for providing program direction, and their key responsibilities include approving and submitting to you any decisions regarding program activities such as funding applications, recruitment, selection, enrollment, priorities, participation also in Early Head Start staff interviews, and they also get to make recommendations for hire. Management staff, we are responsible for implementing policies and developing procedures, supervising staff, and monitoring compliance, in addition to sharing reports with you all and with Policy Council. Head Start leadership is intentionally structured to seek the voices and perspectives of all 3 governing bodies. And while leadership is an inclusive process, the ultimate responsibility lies within the governing body. So some of the key activities of the governing body are legal and fiscal oversight, and it includes reviewing and approving all funding applications, financial audits, operating budget, self-assessment results, or any follow-up activities from federal monitoring reviews. And this is what you see, and this year I included visuals. So the board information report is what comes to you on a monthly basis, so this is probably the most familiar to you. And basically it is a summary of the happenings within the Early Head Start program, and we include data of attendance percentages, enrollment numbers, waitlist numbers, how many home visits our teachers conducted in the month, the number of breakfast and lunch and snacks that were provided to the students within the month, and then of course we also include the expenditure report at the end of the month. And this comes to you as an information item every month. The next is the selection criteria. So it is point-based, and it is based on different criteria, different risk factors. For example, a single household or a single-parent household would have more points than a household with 2 parents. A child with a disability would have more points than a child without a disability, and so forth. So the higher the points, the higher the needs, and that's how we select who gets to come into our program next. These are the program and school readiness reports. So these are established and developed every 5 years, and they do come to you for approval. If we have to make any modifications to the goals throughout the year, they would also be coming back over here to get your approval and your thumbs up before we adopt them. Oh, I skipped one. This is the annual report to the public. So this report is shared with the community every year, and it includes information about the program budget, population served, types of services provided to the children and the families, and what our efforts were to prepare our students for pre-kindergarten and kindergarten. And this is posted on our website. This is the budget summary, budget categories. It comes to you every year for approvals. And this is the ECLIC resource. So it stands for Early Childhood Learning and Knowledge Center, and this is where you would find everything about Head Start, whether it's policies, Head Start Act, any current information and program guidance will be in this website. And here's a little bit more of the children in action. These are, I stole them from the posts of the class dojo, so you can see a little bit of what we do and how we communicate what's going on with our families, so they can get to see as well. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. I was lucky enough to visit the Becker Center for one of my campus visits, and I must say, y'all run a top-notch program over there. All the way from the infants to the early Head Start. You train the parents, there's resources there. You use it all, and you do an amazing job.
Thank you, Ms. Norma. Thank you. Anyone else?
Go ahead.
I have one comment. Thank you. Good job, Anna. The PEP parents that have babies, after they're 3, are those children automatically placed in the early childhood program for the district, or do they have to qualify all over again?
So for the early Head Start parents whose children turn 3, we collaborate with them, and there's a process called transition, and the transition for them begins at 30 months. So 6 months ahead, we say, hey, the 3rd year is coming, let's develop a plan. So we partner with Harris County Department of Ed, Head Start. Ideally, we would love for them to come into our pre-K-3 programs, but of course it's limited space. So not all of our kids get to come into those programs. And for those that don't get into those programs, then there's Head Start as a backup, and there's also other early childhood centers in the community that we encourage our parents to apply. That way when their child turns 3, it's a seamless transition and they don't go home. We don't want them to go home.
Okay. My concern is those pre-K-4 that go to the district. The district has a pre-K-4, correct?
Yes. Well, our children leave right when they turn 3. So after they leave us, it's up to the parent where else they enroll them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Anyone else?
You still have a waiting list, right?
Yes, we have a waiting list of 95. I checked this morning.
Wow.
Yes. We can only serve 60. We serve 60 students and 4 pregnant women. So we are a little bit limited, but we have served thousands and thousands of students along the 25 years now, since 1999. So yeah, lots of students who have benefited from this program. Anyone else? All right, well, I was hopeful that I was able to provide you with some useful information today, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Laura. I will now turn the floor over to Ms. Holly Malloy, Assistant Superintendent for Academic Support, and Dr. Kimberly Martin, Executive Director for Accountability and Academic Support, who will present an update to the early childhood literacy and math goals and the college career and military readiness goals.
Good evening, President Hernandez, Board of Trustees, Dr. Moore, and Cabinet. So I'm here to do the annual review for our House Bill 3 required plans that target early childhood literacy and math proficiency, and Dr. Martin will follow up with our college and career military readiness. So just a reminder for our early childhood literacy, the goals for student performance for 3rd grade are based on the STAR assessment from year to year at the meets grade level. And then pre-K through 2nd grade is based on a progress measure for the percent of students reading at grade level. And for pre-kindergarten, we use a circle assessment, and kindergarten through 2nd grade, the BAS assessment. So I did the data a little bit different for us this year just so we could show you some growth in more detail. So if you look at your left side 2024 literacy goal, those are the goals that we set, and we set them 5 years at a time. And then pre-K, 1st and 2nd, you'll see the beginning of year, middle of year, and then I added this end of year 2023 percentage so we could see their growth to this year's end of year 2024 percentage. So while the goal was not met for kindergarten, you can see we did stay at our 55% in growth. And then if you look at our 3rd grade STAR percentage, we were hoping for 53%. Last year, we had 46% at the meets level on STAR 3rd grade reading. This year we had 47%, so our literacy goal wasn't met, but we did increase by 1%, and that far right column is a good one where we beat the state by 1%. For early childhood math, it's the same for third grade math. It's based on the STAR meets grade level standard. And the progress measure we use for pre-K is Circle as well, and for kinder through second grade is iReady. So our math goals you can see on the left-hand column. You can see our beginning of year, middle of year, and end of year for 2023, and then 2024. And you'll see from every grade level, we grew from 2023 to 2024. And again, while we didn't make that final math goal for 55%, we did come up 2 percentage points from STAR in 2023 to 24, and we beat the state by 1%. So we are growing. Any questions on our House Bill 3 early literacy and early math goals? All right, I'm going to turn the floor over to Dr. Martin.
Hello, so I get to go from early childhood and early literacy to post-high school graduation, and we're going to talk a little bit about college career and military readiness. Just a reminder that CCMR is a lagging data point. So when we last month reviewed our accountability, we were really, when we talk about CCMR, talking about a year ago's graduates, the class of 2023. That's going to be important for the rest of this presentation. There were a couple of things that were added back. For example, we got to add the military part of CCMR back this year. Our students who enlisted and submitted DD4 forms, we were able to count. We also had a change in how our IBC industry-based certifications were counted. Students had to be what was considered concentrators or completers, meaning they couldn't just take an industry-based welding test. They had to complete a sequence of courses in welding. And then the biggest reminder that I want to point out is that in 2023, the score to earn an A went from a 60 to an 88 in 2024. That's almost a 30-point jump to get an A. So we had to come back and rewrite these board goals, right? We no longer wanted to get a 60 because that was a D, not an A. And so that goal was changed to move from 79 to 88% over 5 years. You can see by looking at the goal that we're on track to meet that goal. I'm shorter than Holly. We were on track to meet those goals, and in fact, we were advanced by a year. A committee was developed several years ago to tell us which portions of CCMR we were going to focus on. We chose to focus on TSIA and college prep courses. I'm going to talk a little bit about that moving forward. Of course, you know we have a large dual credit enrollment, and last year we added a McMurray math course, which really helped us out. We also are still continuing to focus on those IBCs and just making sure that we have students in the right classes to take those tests. But something we wanted to add this year and talk to you about now is looking forward. So we have our graduate data from last year, and we're making some predictions on how that will affect us in this year, 2025's accountability. So one of the things that I want to remind you is in December of 2022, TEA began investigating how we were using our college prep courses. In fact, they held that A for several months. Many of you will remember. We provided a written response, and that A was restored because TEA found that we didn't do anything wrong. But they did give us some stricter guidelines to follow in 23 and 24, which Galena Park High School and North Shore Senior High immediately followed the stricter guidelines we were given. We do expect a significant decrease in our CCMR because of the way we were using those college prep courses the year before versus last year. But one of the things that I want to point out is that TEA sent out statewide guidance saying that districts all across the state were going to have to change how they were using college prep. It's really important. We might later call it the Galena Park ISD rule, but that guidance that was given to us said that we could not choose how we would use our college prep courses. The Institutes of Higher Education, meaning SANJAC, would have to apply to TEA to be able to provide us college prep courses. And those courses are going to have to be approved by TEA before we can use them. So remember, we have seniors right now who are in a lagging data. We won't be able to use them until 26 accountability, and we don't yet know which college prep courses will be approved by TEA. We do know, and I've circled in orange here, that roughly 40% of our CCMR data for the 2024 accountability year, so 2023 graduates, was based on that college prep course. Okay, so it is a huge component of our CCMR category. We're working hard with the task force coming up very soon to get more and more of our students CCMR points without utilizing those college prep courses until we hear from the state how they are going to help us use them. Any questions about that?
Do we have an idea of the courses that they will accept, like a projected or
No.
anticipated list?
So every Friday, performance reporting sends out an email update. This Friday's email update said that they would be sending a survey to districts this month, and then the Institute of Higher Education, SanJack, would have to say that they wanted to offer those courses and then go through, and I quote, a rigorous approval process with state mandated reporting components. And those are not classes we pay for. So it will be very interesting to see which institutes of higher education do submit applications. And part of the problem with this data point, and we're going to be watching the lawsuits very carefully because many of them have this as a component, is we have students right now who we're trying to get CCMR points for next accountability year, and they're not releasing the rules until we're playing the game. So the answer is no. I wish we did. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Malloy and Dr. Martin. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 5:26 p.m. President, I will now call this meeting to order. An executive session of the board will now be held on the matters contained in the notice for this meeting as authorized by sections 551.001 through section 551.084 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. Should the board determine that any final action, final decision, or final vote be required with regard to any matter considered in such closed or executive meeting or session, then such final action, final decision, or final vote shall be at either this public meeting upon the reconvening of this public meeting or at a subsequent public meeting of the board upon notice thereof, as the board shall determine. A closed or executive meeting of the board will now be held. The time is 5:31 p.m. Board is now in open session. The time is 5:58 p.m. The meeting will convene at 6 p.m. for the regular meeting. School District is now convened in a regular meeting on Monday, October the 7th of 2024 in the Administration Building of Galena Park Independent School District, the address of which is 14705 Wood Forest Boulevard, Houston, Texas 77015. The time is 6 p.m. I want to welcome the members of our audience to this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Galena Park ISD Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on tonight's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. This meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by Section 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your interest in the Galena Park Independent School District. We have no public comments for posted agenda items today. We have no public comments for non-agenda items today. Tonight's invocation will be presented by board member Linda Sherrard, and the pledges of the American flag and Texas flags will be led by North Shore Middle School Army, LOTC. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the pledges of allegiance to the flags.
Good evening. Please bow with me, all eyes closed and all heads bowed, or your custom. Our Lord, O Lord our God, how excellent is your name. We come tonight, Lord, with thanksgiving in our hearts, thanking you, Lord, for this day, a day that we've never seen before. We come, Father, standing in the need of prayer. Some among us are grieving the loss of loved ones. Comfort our hearts. We solicit your blessings over Galena Park ISD. Bless our children, their parents, the employees, the community, and Lord, bless the leader, Dr. John Moore, who you have entrusted the awesome responsibility of leading our district. Now, Father, we are about to conduct business for our district. We pray tonight, Lord, that it will be a meeting with peace and unity, and that we are all on one accord. Bless the 7, as well as our superintendent that are represented. Please, Lord, help us to have open hearts and open minds. These are blessings that we solicit and ask in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
You may be seated. We will now move on to this evening's special recognition portion of the agenda. Dr. Moore?
Test. Look at there. I figured it out. All right. Well, thanks to everybody for coming tonight. Sorry it's so hot outside. I sure was hoping I could tell y'all we were looking forward to a nice cool evening, maybe tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for coming out. We've got some people we want to honor tonight. We're going to start out with our student nutrition department. Dr.
All right. Well, good evening. Trustee Noe Esparza, will you please assist tonight with the presentations? Okay, we would like to begin this evening's recognitions by recognizing the Galena Park ISD Student Nutrition Department for earning a Healthy Meals Incentive Recognition Award from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food and Nutrition Service and Action for Healthy Kids. Will the following Student Nutrition Department team members join us on stage? First, we have Director Brian Aubin. Assistant Director for Menu Planning and Productions, Tay Vo. Compliance Coordinator, Serena Castillo. Area Supervisor, Sonia Ledesma. Supervisor for Secondary, Elizabeth J. Vasquez. Secretary, Sandra Moreno. Clerk and Bookkeeper, Vicky Liego. Accountant, Morgan Harris. Manager Trainee, Yumika White. Manager for Elementary, Elena Pena. and Supervisor for Secondary, Carolyn Eason. Would you please give them a round of applause? The Healthy Meals Initiative celebrates school food authorities that have improved their school meals. Our Student Nutrition Department worked together to educate GPISD families about sodium, added sugars, and whole grain content of school meals. Thank you for consistently providing students with the education and nourishment they need to learn, grow, and play. You sure can.
Guys, tonight we're about to honor our schools that quote unquote made an A. I want to talk for just a moment about that. TEA has not released official grades because of a lawsuit. You know, our staff and our students work all year long, and it's a whole lot of work and a whole lot of heartache and lots of days where you come to work and you're exhausted and you come do it anyway, and a lot of Saturday mornings, you know, helping kids get caught up and being up to speed. And then the scores come out and you've done really well, and then TEA sends out something, well, it's not really official. It's a real letdown for our folks that have done really, really well. So we're going to walk them in front of you just like we do when they release the scores, because these guys deserve it. So before we even start, there's 4 of them standing here that all got A's. Would you please give them a round of applause?
All right. He read my script, but I'm going to read it anyway. We'd like to begin our next recognition by inviting Principal Sandra Rodriguez, Principal Elizabeth Nava, Principal Dr. Christopher Eckford, and Principal Dr. Jeffrey Hutchison to the stage. Under the leadership of these principals, though we have not received an official rating from the Texas Education Agency due to ongoing litigation, our calculations, as verified utilizing TEA's data match opportunity, indicate that Woodland Acres Elementary School, Galena Park Middle School, North Shore Middle School, and CTE Early College High School all received a rating of an A. Please give them a round of applause. At this time, we would also like to have their staff join them on stage, because we know that they would say they did not do this by themselves. So staff that are present, please join us on stage. Receiving an A rating reflects outstanding academic performance, excellent student progress, and exceptional dedication to fostering a positive and effective learning environment. Congratulations to these campuses and their teams of educators. Their commitment to excellence is outstanding, and again, they deserve another round of applause. This concludes the recognition portion of our board meeting, and thank you.
Any board member may make a comment during this portion of the agenda, without prior posting being required. Comment items may not pertain to the character of any student, staff, or board member, and may not be discussed or deliberated upon at this time. Does anyone have a comment at this time?
I'd just like to say well done and thank you for all you do. That's quite an accomplishment.
Brian Clements, Executive Director for Security and Technology, will present the academic spotlight with a video highlighting some of the outstanding programs and initiatives of the technology program.
Well, good evening, President Hernandez, Board of Trustees, Dr. Moore, Cabinet. It's my distinct pleasure to come to you as the Executive Director for Security and Technology and to take a minute to introduce to you some of our team members that are here tonight. I'd like two of my directors to stand, Rachel Henshaw and Michelle Young. I went by for a minute. We have a third director, Lupe Macias. He is at a college class tonight, so we gave him a pass on that. But they're part of that triumvirate that helps lead everything we do. And then surrounding them, guys, if you'd stand for just a second. Rail, I didn't see you come in. Rail is our coordinator over technical services with our technicians. And then behind you, what you have is a combination of our DLACs that work on our campuses, our technicians that keep everything running, our analysts, our specialists. It's a little bit of everybody that we have, just to give you a glimpse at what we have. Guys, go ahead and have a seat, but thank you for coming tonight. I tell them this all the time. I get the pleasure of working, I think, with the best team in the district, and I'll defend that to anybody. What we'd like to do tonight is we want to give you just a glimpse, a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes and the things that are going on with technology in the school district. I mentioned to somebody earlier, I said, you know, technology is like electricity. You don't miss it until it's not there. And these are the folks that keep it there and just keep it running every single day. So I'm going to invite you to sit back, watch the video with us, and we'll come back in just a minute. Before we get here, we have to assemble the team. I'm Brian Clements, the Executive Director of Security and Technology, and I'd like you to meet some of our team members as we take a behind-the-scenes team. I'm Brian Clemens, the Executive Director of Security and Technology, and I'd like to meet some of our team members as we take a behind-the-scenes tour of technology in Galena Park ISD.
My name is Rachel Henshaw. I'm Director for Information Systems in GPISD. Before the first device can even be purchased, there need to be several systems in place that are communicating with each other. You need a purchasing system so that you can budget, quote, requisition, order, and then pay for the device. You need a student information system to identify the students who are enrolled and need their user accounts created. Information systems will ensure that the order can be placed, the user can log in the device, and all of their programs are set up and ready to facilitate learning. If you have to log into it, email, Google Classroom, Skyward, Frontline, or one of the over 200 digital resources that we have in the district, our team will be working to make sure it integrates seamlessly.
Hi, I'm Director for Technology Service at Galena Park ISD. And I'm Real Kelly, Coordinator of Technology Service at Galena Park ISD. So I manage the team that handles several different aspects of the technology department, from deployment of devices, and that's computer devices, wireless access points, infrastructure pieces, to the people that handle service calls. You know, somebody has an issue, they call us, we answer, and we'll send a technician to get the stuff prepared.
The technology services team handles and supports all technology throughout its life cycle to GPISD and the backend infrastructure that makes it work. From when it's received, it is inventoried, programmed, deployed, updated, repaired, until it's decommissioned.
I handle the management of the technicians on the campuses.
Our support team consists of 16 computer technicians who last year took 21,000 calls and resolved 13,000 tickets. Our inventory specialist intakes and sends out around 11,000 devices throughout the district. Our network provides services for roughly 36,000 devices. These services are protected by our Proofpoint, Lightspeed, and Quark systems.
And my time here at Galena Park ISD, I've seen the number of devices grow from a couple thousand to over 36,000 devices. And our internet bandwidth has also grown exponentially from just a couple megs to 20 gigs at this point. The secret is really just to have a good team supporting the devices, just to make sure that it's available and working for all the users, including the students. Yeah, have a great day, everyone.
I'm Michelle Young, Director for Instructional Technology. At the end of the journey, students and teachers are ready to use digital technology and resources to access online and offline activities to enhance the learning experience. The Instructional Technology Department assists teachers and students in and out of the classroom, from software programs to hardware to clubs and contests. Educators can address various learning styles and abilities by integrating 21st century teaching practices and technologies, ensuring students are able to create, communicate, collaborate, and think critically in a global community.
So technology has enhanced the classroom because we used to work traditionally, and with the shift from traditional, we now kind of incorporate both. They can take their sketchbooks and photograph them and create their own final product in a digital platform without ever having to lose any of that creative process that they do in developing the work.
So with the iPads, we can just like go back if you mess up online or something. And that's a lot easier compared to traditional where you erase it, make sure it's gone, and then reapply it.
With digital, everything I feel is a lot more precise. If you're making a curve in the line, normally when we do it on paper, it would be a little ridgy, or like you said, it'll chip
try to be able to interact with people, and be able to discuss with people and make new friends. Some of the contests that we participated in was, I think, one of the category was graphic design. Another one was making a video game. And another one was making a model of the scenario.
We control the thing about technology club or the multimedia club, that they teach you how to properly use technology without really abusing it that much. Also, they teach you coding, how to design through the computers. They teach you different things about technology.
To bring students together that share similar ideas, but may not have the confidence or the skill set yet to execute them properly. And so when they meet others that have similar interests as them, they're able to bring their creativity alive. During our PD, our DLAC, or Windsor DLAC, Stacy was this, she always had these indie cards. And so I thought it would be a great idea to bring it into the classroom with my students. And so one of our things we do with our Strong Start is being a collaborator. And so it helps them to be compassionate collaborators, to work with students with differences, to be able to solve a problem together.
Outside the jump code, but we're making a path for MV to go. And then the problem is the line got trapped in the net, the big net. The solution is the mouse bit the rope, so the lion got out and gave him a ride. And then they lived happily ever after.
I utilized the channel throughout the entire day in the homeroom this morning. We introduced them to the quadrants where there's 4 different activities.
I like math doing compiling. It's like it gives you math and you have to solve the questions. It's important because the math keeps you smart. I like the quadrant with the numbers and you gotta match the numbers to count the dots. You can do like laughing with the cameras, go on snowflake, and you can go on seesaw, and you can go learn on reading, like learn books, and you can do a lot of that.
Thanks for taking a brief walk with us through our technology department and the great teachers and students we serve every day. Just a small glimpse of what goes on in Galena Park ISD with technology. And these are the people who make it happen behind the scenes. I'm so proud of them. But I'll ask, are there any questions tonight or comments?
I have a comment. I think we take for granted what is required for a district this size from a technology perspective, from cybersecurity to educational technology, to IT services, to all the enterprise applications that have to talk to one another. So I just want to say thank you for your service. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. You see, we grow them young in technology. This is
absolutely.
So, guys, again, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to show you a few of those things, and we appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. We now come to the business portion of tonight's meeting. We invite and encourage you to stay for the remainder of the meeting. However, if you need to leave early, we understand, and this is a convenient time to do so. We appreciate your attendance. Please come again. We will now move on to new business. Is there a motion to approve the designation of 10 non-business days as presented to comply with House Bill 3033, Public Information Act timelines?
I, Noe Esparza, move we approve designation of 10 non-business days as presented.
I, Jose Jimenez, second the motion.
A motion was made by Noe Esparza and seconded by Jose Jimenez. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. Is there a motion to approve adopting the resolution establishing maintenance and operations tax rate of 0.83760 and a debt service tax rate of 0.33431 for a total tax rate of 1.17191 for the 24-25 fiscal year?
I, Amanda Arabia, move we approve adopting the resolution establishing maintenance and operations tax rate and a debt service tax rate as presented.
I, Adrian Stevens, second the motion.
A motion was made by Amanda Arabia and seconded by Adrian Stevens. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. Is there a motion to approve the Texas Education Human Resources Day resolution as presented?
I, Linda Sherrod, move we approve the Texas Education Human Resources Day resolution as presented.
I, Noe Esparza, second the motion.
A motion was made by Linda Sherrod and seconded by Noe Esparza. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. Is there a motion to approve the resolution nominating a candidate for position to the Board of Directors of the Harris County Appraisal District?
I, Jose Jimenez, move we approve the resolution nominating a candidate for position to the Board of Directors of the Harris County Appraisal District as presented.
I, Amanda Arabia, second the motion.
A motion was made by Jose Jimenez and seconded by Amanda Arabia. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. With respect to the general consent agenda, do we want to remove any item for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Adrian Stevens, move we approve the general consent agenda as presented.
I, Ramon Garza, second the motion.
A motion was made by Adrian Stevens and seconded by Ramon Garza. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. With respect to the construction consent agenda, do we want to remove any item for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Ramon Garza, move we approve the construction consent agenda as presented.
I, Amanda Arabia, second the motion.
A motion was made by Ramon Garza and seconded by Amanda Arabia. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. With respect to the financial consent agenda, do we want to remove any item for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Noe Esparza, move we approve the financial consent agenda as presented.
I, Jose Jimenez, second the motion.
A motion was made by Noe Esparza and seconded by Jose Jimenez. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. The following documents were presented to the board for information. A, Dr. Juana Giacona, Chief Administrative Officer, presented, number 1, Early Head Start Policy Council meeting minutes of August of 2024. Number 2, Early Head Start Governance, Leadership, and Oversight Capacity Screener. B, Ben Pape, Chief Financial Officer, presented, number 1, Tax Collection Report of August 2024. Number 2, 2016 bond program and facilities construction update. Number 3, 2016 bond program financial report as of August the 31st of 2024. Number 4, early Head Start update and Fund 205 expenditure report summary of August 2024. Number 5, annual report of the district's cooperative purchasing program management fees for fiscal year 2024-25. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 6:35 p.m.